our conversation with our friends from the Coral Graceton Fire Department, brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. In the studio with us this morning, Chief Justin Smyers, Logan Dellafiora. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, Todd?
Wonderful. It's good to have you with us here today. Wonderful, I say, because I don't have the flu yet. Logan, you're just getting over it.
Hey, listen to those flu reports. They're a little rough out there.
All right, gentlemen, we're here to talk about a very serious subject. For, well, almost 4 years now, folks have been taking the drive to Homer City to get their mail if they live in Coral and were served by the Coral Graceton Fire Department or Post Office before. Obviously, a lot of folks want to do something about that. And, well, a step is about to be taken. Let's talk about that this morning. Justin, going to be hosting a big meeting on Wednesday.
That is correct. The frustration in the town has grown ever so strong to where some members in the community had taken it upon themselves to contact some legislators in the area who have got the ball rolling. Now the United States Postal Service is willing to sit down and meet with us and make a plan for going forward.
Yeah, it's about time, is what a lot of people are saying.
For sure.
And you guys, you're there in the community. You know all about it, and what an inconvenience it is, especially if you're an older person, John.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's been an issue. Glenn Thompson has been a good advocate on it. He's been a big help in the issue. And like I said, I mean, like you said, Todd, the older people, they're struggling. It's an issue. Rather than driving from Coral to Coral, you're driving from Coral to Homer City. So, I mean, it's out of the way. You know, it is an issue. So it's something that we've advocated for as the fire department ourselves. We've kind of tried to lobby the issue, and luckily it's taking some steps in the right direction now, finally. I think, like you said, it's been 4 or 5 years. Since the post office was burnt down. So it's been an issue, and hopefully we can kind of move in the right direction.
March of 2016 is when the post office burned, and so
you know more than I do.
This has been going on for quite some time. So Justin, tell me about the meeting. What's going to be happening?
Yeah, so at the meeting, which again is going to be this Wednesday, the 22nd at 6 o'clock at our fire station. According to the Postal Service, there's 3 goals that need to be met during this meeting. One, they're going to discuss the reasons for relocating. At that point, they're pretty obvious. You know, the post office has since been gone, so we need to relocate that. They're going to identify a site or area, or both, to which the Postal Service anticipates the relocating of their retail services. And then they're also going to describe the anticipated size of the services that need to be relocated.
All right, so all that in mind, obviously, you guys have an idea of what you would like to see as an answer to those criteria.
Correct. Yes. So we as the fire company are working in conjunction with the United States Postal Service to come up with some sort of solution. There's multiple different options at this point. None have been written in stone. We've had preliminary conversations with the real estate specialists from the Postal Service, but again, at this point, there's a lot to be worked through to identify which option is going to be best for not only us, for the community, and, you know, for the Postal Service themselves.
And that'll be the object of the discussions on Wednesday. Now, who's going to be speaking? Will there be someone there from USPS?
Yeah, there'll be Postal Service representatives there, as well as the community. The meeting itself is more of an exploratory meeting to see where we're at, kind of weigh the options, see where we can move forward. As Justin said, we have ideas we're trying to work out, but there's nothing set in stone. A community member, if they decided to open up their house to the post office, they could come down and offer that input. Mm-hmm. So it is. There's nothing set, and it's going to see what options are out there. Then I believe the Postal Service weighs the options and goes from there.
Every once in a while, these meetings are held, and you get caught up in a different game than you want to be in. The blame game is one of those. You know, why hasn't this happened? What have been the obstacles? Don't want that to be a part of the meeting because everybody knows what's gone on for the last 4 years.
No, but if I had to guess, I'm sure that'll probably work its way into there as well.
Yeah,
it always does.
Just can't let it be hijacked by that.
Just try to figure out the issue rather than we all know what the issue is. Try to figure it out and go from there.
Try to go forward from there.
The plan.
So you mentioned been talking with Glenn Thompson, Glenn G.T.
Yes.
Thompson, our congressman.
Yes.
Who else from government circles?
From the legislative side, that's about it. As a congressperson, obviously, reaching out to the Postal Service, a federal agency, but so he's been a big advocate for us. Actually, you've been in contact with him.
I've contacted, to be quite honest, quite a few,
even before he was our congressman.
Yeah, but it was him and his office that was extremely, extremely helpful. Mm-hmm. I didn't speak with him directly, but his staff up in Johnstown was, second to none in regards to when I had an issue, I would call them. The Postal Service would give us some sort of answer that we knew was not correct based on the information that we were provided from living in the town. Yeah. So we would present that to Glenn Thompson's office again. They would go back to the Postal Service because the Postal Service has no interest in speaking to any member of the community by any stretch of the imagination. So we kind of had to get our frustrations through somebody that had a little bit more authority in the area. And again, him and his office, they've worked completely assisted.
But even speaking to that, Congressman Schuster, when he was still in office, it was probably 5 days after the post office burned down, he came and had a town hall meeting. So he was a big, he was a help in that regard. Not enough of a help due to the new post office apparently, but he was a big help. Like I said, he was open. His ears were open. His office was open. They advocated for us. So it's been, from the legislative channel, our Congress people have been doing a very good job on that regard. But hopefully we can produce some results this time.
Yeah. And of course, the Center Township supervisors are part of this whole conversation as well.
Yeah.
They couldn't be with us today because of their other duties, but they're solidly behind this as well.
Correct. Yeah, they've been of great assistance, and a lot of the communications between the United States Postal Service have went through them in order to get to us as well.
Yeah. So, as we think about what has happened since the fire and people having to drive to Homer City, I would guess with the population demographic in Coral and Graceton and in that whole region, that there are a lot of people that say, okay, let's set up a carpool, or let's set up I'll go get this street's mail, or they rotate it back and forth. They've come up with ways.
I'll tell you what, I could have been a millionaire if I started getting people's mail for them. I should have planned that out, and I could have all kinds of money. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's, as you said, it's an aging population in the towns. So it's, luckily Graceton isn't affected by this because they have the mailbox. What do you call it? The mailboxes, the general boxes on street corners. But Coral as a whole, it's an aging population, so they have had to have people from the community step up and take, your elderly neighbor to the post office, or go and get their mail. I don't exactly know how the Postal Service works with trying to get other people's mail, but they've been pretty good in that regard as well, understanding the issue. So the town stepped up and helped out, but it's still an issue that shouldn't be in place at this point in time.
Yeah, and when you get right down to it, you have to think the folks at the Homer City Post Office, they would like this to come forward as well, because that's extra duties for them, and they have to be inconvenienced by it. So it's just time.
That's for sure.
It's time. So
for sure.
6 to 8 p.m. coming up, or not 6 to 8, just 6 o'clock. Let's not put an end to time on it, because you know how these things can last.
Sure.
But will folks have a chance to offer their comments?
They will, yeah. And if any of them have any specific ideas or plans that they have brewing, they're more than welcome to address the United States Postal Service at that time, and all of the options will be weighed.
Yeah. It's very important. I'm happy to hear that the firefighters are the ones getting behind it. You guys do a lot.
Try to.
Man, you get out there in the community, and Coral Graceton Fire Department, actually, you guys seem to have, inquisitive minds. You see needs and you say, well, how can we help? How can we be a part of this? And it's not just with this issue, it's with a lot of them.
Yeah, we try to think out of the box as much as we can. We do a lot more of, I guess, public relations than we do of firefighting down in Coral, but we enjoy it.
Yeah.
When you have people like me and Justin figuring it out, our minds don't necessarily work the way typical minds work. So you do get some interesting, not always solutions. We think they're solutions, but sometimes they don't work out as solutions. But
we try.
We give it a shot.
That's an interesting way to put it. But this is one of those areas where you step in and you do what needs to be done and see what you can do to push along a process that is sorely needed. Timelines are interesting because we were given timelines right after the fire, and as the old building's owner worked with various parties to try to get the thing back up and running, and that never came to be for a variety of reasons. But you can't really stick a timeline on it. You just want to see it done as quickly as you can get it done.
Sure. Speaking to timelines, in this letter that we received from the Postal Service, it does say that after the meeting, within a 30-day period, the Postal Service will have to consider the comments and appeals and come up with what they feel to be the best solution. At that point, it says that it will be posted, in local media and also in the post office. So it sounds like they want to, within 30 days of this meeting, have a pretty clear idea of what's going to occur going forward.
Yeah, and then becomes the actual work of getting it done.
Yeah, I'd assume the Postal Service got enough complaints over the past 4 years that they're They're probably tired of hearing those. They're ready to move forward as well, I would think.
Yeah, well, I don't know how many people work in the complaint department at the post office, but
I'm sure the residents of Coral have taken up at least 2 people over the past 4 years.
Well, okay, so it's on Wednesday. Anything else, Justin, that folks need to know about the meeting?
No, that's about it. Again, it's Wednesday the 22nd at 6 p.m. The Postal Service is saying it should not last more than about an hour. But again, like you had said, that if a lot of people show up, it may be elongated.
There could be some angry people walking in that door.
Should not last more than an hour, or at least that's as long as their guys stay.
For sure. And I just hope that the people that are coming, they're coming with an open mind to come up with solutions rather than just to express their frustrations over the last few years, because that's not going to get us anywhere. It's going to be thinking towards the future, not really letting out our frustrations and things of that nature.
Yeah, at this point, everybody knows what all those issues are, and everybody has a common mind that this has been bad, and now here's the chance to move forward.
Yep.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming in to tell us about it.
No, thank you.
Todd.
We appreciate it.
Nice
It
seeing
is
you.
the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160 and 101.1